Understanding what these children went through and embracing them wholeheartedly is what we all need to do. It's the only way for their healing to be complete. Michael, how has life changed for you here in Watoto?
Mati Watoto, very car, Mama child do area, me very catchy, very Kidana chair, piano for no Niama kind of take time, give out your looming for TDBI free. So get middle of a corner, very movie gem to a piano mar, numbering at a margo gym. You would delay and two I don't will be a giant.
Michael, today what do you want to be in future? So do you sing now?
I don't yet, but I wrote a song.
Okay, could you give us a sample of that song?
It says that, Lord, have your way in me. Ah, Lord, have your way in me. I will never could be the same. Lord, have your way in me. You're the only God. Lord, have your way in me.
Okay, that sounds great. You stay well and don't give up. I'll come back and see you. And good luck with your music and football. Okay, God bless you. From the former child soldiers, we see what war does to human beings. So let us think twice before we glorify and glamorize war or violence. God does not only rescue, He rebuilds and restores, and He is doing so for these children and for you too. You're watching Life Stories. We are in Laminadera, Gulu District, Northern Uganda. I'm in a place called Watoto Children's Village, right here in Laminadera. Next on the show, we are going to engage Pastor Victor Obina, who's the pastor in this place and also the manager. Pastor will be telling us about the children in this area with a major focus on the former child soldiers. Pastor, what is this Watoto Children's Village about?
Watoto Children's Village is about rescuing, raising a child to rebuild a nation.
What happens at the children's villages like this one?
There's so many things that happen, but in one word is holistic care given to every child that comes to this village.
Which children come here?
Children that need help, children that have been deserted, children that have been refused, children that have nobody to take care of them, children that just need love.
Are they orphans? Are they?
For Northern Uganda, particularly orphaned by the war. Yes.
When did the child soldiers come here? How were they discovered?
They were discovered through the local systems, working with local leaders, and the local leaders explained the need that they had in their different communities. And we just saw that they fit the criteria of children that we need to take in. Some of them were escaped during the war when an attack was made on their group. Some of them had the opportunity to escape, or they were rescued by the army and brought back home and resettled through the different helping hands or organizations that were around. And they found their way back home. But life at home was not easy. Life at home was hard. The stigma from community. Most relatives would not want to take on the responsibility of those children. And you would find that when a child like that comes home, the community would look at them as the children who committed atrocities in those communities. And so
the community was afraid.
The community was afraid. But at the same time, the child was also afraid. And the child also needed love and care. And most of the time they came back to families that were already dysfunctioning. They found their parents were no longer alive, they were killed by the rebels, or probably died to HIV and AIDS or disease or something. Somewhere, somehow, parents were not around.
Pastor, as you brought in the children that had been child soldiers, Didn't you have any questions about them? Didn't you probably think about the fact that maybe some of them are spies or some of them are informers?
I wasn't afraid, and neither were we as a ministry afraid. For us, this was a great opportunity to share the love of Jesus with them, to provide love, because these were hurting children, and what had happened to them was unbelievable.
So what happens when the children get here?
One of the things you will notice is we do not call this an orphanage. We call it a community. Why? Because they find everything they need here. They will be given a mother.
How do you choose their mothers? You do it randomly?
We do it randomly, but they go through a process.
What process is that?
We have a saying that says, hurting people hurt people. We don't want mothers who are already hurt to come and hurt. So through the selection process, we take our moms through certain things that will prepare them to receive these children.
Do the child soldiers go through the basic process like other children?
Yeah, they do. We have different people that come to help, and different departments that are involved in helping these children. First and foremost, the mother. Okay, the mother is the primary contact on the village for the child. But we also have what we call youth workers and children's workers. These are people that work closely with the children to mentor and disciple them, and to help them begin to understand that they have a value that nobody else can give them except God, that they get from God. But we also have our teachers. You know, we have pastors on the villages, we have counselors on the villages, we have social workers who come and spend time with these children and encourage them and tell them that there's a value that they have than what they have already known in the past. And you begin to see these children lighten up and become who they are in God, and they begin to take back their value and become confident, and they begin to put a smile on their faces regardless of what has happened in the past. Yes.
What major challenges, especially emotionally, do the child soldiers have?
Most of them have been forced to do what they wouldn't want to do, and so they come back struggling with this guilt of either taking somebody's life or doing something that they know they shouldn't have done.
How do you help them?
We start by just taking them through processes of them knowing that, you know, it wasn't your fault.
You mean you counsel them?
We counsel them. We counsel them, we take them through counseling, and we teach them value, who they are. Once somebody knows who they are, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. And we teach them the value of who they are, what value God has placed in their life. And once they grasp that, the sky is not even the limit.
What do you do for children who came here and they were probably Muslims or they were from another faith?
Right.
Well, they were not exactly Christian.
Right. For Laminadera village, we haven't had that challenge yet. We haven't received any child who's been Muslim or any other faith.
Do you keep a constant relationship with their families just in case there is somebody around, let me say an uncle or some distant relative, or this is fully and truly home and that's just about it?
For those who have extended families that at least are able to provide some kind of care, we send them back home for holidays once a year to stay connected with the family. Because eventually when we have rescued and raised this child to become a responsible Ugandan, productive, they need to go back to the community and become productive and to begin to live their own lives and become responsible for their own lives. And so they'll have to go back to the community. So if we cut them off from the community, we're not helping. So we keep them connected with their families and extended.
When you look at these children, you know, you live with them every day, so judging from what they've become and, you know, do they still have dreams? Are they ambitious?
very ambitious, and that's the beautiful part. When many of them come in, they come and they feel they're not wanted, they're not desired. But when they come in here and they realize I'm loved, I'm wanted, I'm needed, you know, I am valuable, I have this value, my mom cares for me, my brothers and sisters love me, they begin to dream. Some of them want to become doctors, engineers, some of them want to become pastors, some of them want to become computer wizards. We nurture them in a sense that they are able to live this dream. And by the time the child is graduated from Watoto, they're beginning to live there.
These children come and live with other children.
Right.
Do they seem to have special problems? Are some of them violent or rude?
Like I said, there are people to help them on site. Like I said, the trauma rehabilitation program, the social workers, the youth workers.
Do they need special people like psychiatrists or your counselors?
They come and they need the help, and they will find that help here. And we'll help them grow through some of those challenges. And before you know, we will not have those overwhelming situations like you would think, like a child becoming extremely violent. No, we haven't had that yet. Because why? Because there are systems in place to help them.
Looking at these children and all these things they've been through, and this bruised community from which they come, what does this teach you about life?
It is unbelievable to see what happens in the lives of these children. It teaches me that every person needs to be loved. Everybody needs love. Everybody needs to be cared for. Everybody needs to be treated humanly, if I can say that. And it teaches me that Jesus can heal any hurting heart, if I can say that. It teaches me that there is a value that God has placed on every single individual. All right.
And I totally agree with you, Pastor. Exactly. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for talking to us, and thank you for the work you do with these little children.
Thank you for coming.
All of them, but particularly those that were formerly child soldiers.
Right.
We had so much for them, and we are praying for them as well.
Thank you.
God bless you, and God bless Watoto Child Ministries. We really appreciate it.
Amen.
All right.
All right.
The stories we've seen today on the show are stories of children who are turned into killers, murderers, and perpetrators. These were just children, 7 years, 9 years, 10 years, and their innocence, their first love, it was all taken away by Joseph Kony in the Lord's Resistance Army War. These are victims, and their past is truly heartbreaking. Communities where these children come from, you need to forgive them, support them, and pray for them, because these are leaders and great people of tomorrow. That was it on Life Stories. I'm Justine, your host. Thank you for giving the show a slot in your day. Remember, you can still catch the show on YouTube, get more information about Life Stories on its Facebook and Twitter pages. Stay well.